Yes. Yes. Good morning once again. Like I've told you, everything that we shall say now is going to be recorded. Now we have reviewed the previous lesson and the video is there and I sent it to you guys. And always go through it. Okay? And welcome to our today's lesson. Now, we finished codominancy and incomplete dominancy. Now let's talk about multiparels. And this one is just English. What does the word multiple mean? And then alleles. Here I can simply say that multiple means many. Many. And then alleles. So many alleles. So with this, with genes that show multiparels, for instance, it's one single gene which is determined by more than 2 alleles. You have one single trait, but the trait is determined by more than 2 alleles. We've seen that all what we've been studying right from where we began from, right from Mendele's experiments up to where we stopped. Okay? In the previous lesson, we saw that they were all determined by a pair of alleles. For example, if one was maybe red, another one would be blue. If maybe one was maybe red, another one would be probably white. So it was always a pair. And for you to get a single gene, then you'd have a pair. Okay? But now in this case, we have other traits, other characteristics that man deviate from this. You have more than one alleles, okay, that are determining a given trait. And for example, we shall find this in blood groups. Okay, for example, in blood groups, you have the ABO blood group system. Okay, automatically they are more than, these are 3 alleles. Okay, whereby if you have A, okay, now this is blood group A. You can also have something of this kind. Now, the trait is the same. The characteristic is the same blood group, okay? But the alleles that are determining that particular trait are more than 2. You have allele A, you have allele B, and you have allele O. So therefore, this one qualifies to be under multiple alleles. Not so? Yes, that's brilliant work. Can there be blood group BB? Yes, it is there. We are going to carry out process. And you see where BB comes from, okay? So have no worries. So this implies that a single gene contains more than 2 alleles. And an example is blood group inheritance. In inheritance of blood groups, it's the ABO blood group system that I like how I've showed you. So let's see. Now, in your body, you have there red blood cells, okay? And these red blood cells have what we call antigens. And actually, they are antigens on red blood cells, or they are partitional antigens on your red blood cells that determine the blood group that you're going to have. Whether you're going to be blood group A, whether you're going to be blood group B, or AB, or blood group O. So now the genes that do control blood groups, they do occur, or they are made up of 3 different alleles, like how we've seen the ABO blood group system. 3 different alleles. You have allele A, you have allele B, you have allele O. And there are these 3 different alleles that do interact to bring about the 4. Is it 4? Yeah, the 4 blood group types. But the gene is 1 blood groups. Okay? These 3 alleles, they do interact together to form 4 blood group types. Okay? Yes, that's brilliant. Now, these alleles, they are A, B, O, and the inheritance of blood groups is also an example of codominance. Can somebody tell us why codominance? You have just 1 minute to say that. You tell us why it is an example of codominance in the chat box. Yes, you have just 1 minute. If it clocks 2 here or 3, shall proceed. Hey, members, please, let's hurry up. It's just, you just think about it and tell why it's called codominance. Probably. Why? Because you have studied codominance and I've given you a highlight on the ABO blood group system. So briefly talk about it. You mean nobody knows? Okay, it's okay. It's okay. Now, it is codominance because in cases where the A and B meet each other, there is no allele that is going to mask. Somebody has posted something. Let me check. This is Aaron. I think it is because the offsprings will have the same allele. For example, for AA, BE, and the offsprings will have AB. That is quite fair. Quite fair. Fair. You have the idea. It's because if these 2 alleles, for example, the A meets the A, then this one becomes blood group A. If B meets B or meets with B, then this one also becomes blood group B. But if A meets B, then this one, they form AB, and AB is neither blood group A, neither blood group B, but rather blood group AB. Okay? So that's why it is called codominance. All the two alleles are equally dominant to each other. Okay? Yes. Yes. So let me rub a bit. Yeah, so the 4 blood groups, that is blood group A, blood group B, and AB and O. The alleles for blood groups, we can use them or we can represent them as IA, IB, IO, and IO. Now, what is this I? The I is referred to as immunoglobulin. Immunoglobulin. So this is IA, this is immunoglobulin A. But however, at this level, when you are carrying out a cross, it's okay, we shall still mark you. Shall still mark you even when you have written just A, written just B, and just O, without including I. But if you can, then you can also include I. We are going to carry out process and see. Okay? Now, IO is recessive. Okay? And IA and IB, or allele A and allele B, they are codominant. In that, when IA meets IB, or when allele A meets allele B, there is no allele that is going to mask each other. Okay? That's why when you have AB, then this is blood group AB. But IO is recessive in that wherever it is, for example, if you have AO, then this is blood group A. If you have BO, then this is blood group B. Okay? But for you to have blood group O, then you must have O and O. Not so? Yes. I hope you get the difference now. For you to be blood group O, you must have OO. Why? Because O is recessive. But in cases where the B and O have met each other, that is in heterozygous state, then this one becomes blood group B. The same applies to A. This is blood group A. But when A and B meet each other, then that one becomes blood group AB. Okay? Yes. So an individual inherits 2 of these alleles from each parent, like what I told you. You are half your mother and half your dad. Whatever you have. Half mother, half. So this table summarizes all the possible genotypes and phenotypes of blood groups. So if you have A and O, or you can represent this as A, O, then this one is blood group A. Why? Because O is recessive to A. If you have AA, that is capital A, okay, then this one is blood group A still. Now, but now, this one is A heterozygous. So in case the question says somebody was heterozygous for blood group A, okay, but this one is A homozygous. I hope you still remember these terms. Homozygous, it's where the two alleles determining a particular trait are identical. But heterozygous is where the two alleles determining a particular trait are different. Like how you can see here, it's O, okay? And this one is A. Whereas here it's A, and also this side it is A. So if they say maybe pony is homozygous for blood group A, then this is what I want. Okay? But if we say who is around, is it Pauline, Faith, Joan, whatever. So if we say Faith is heterozygous for blood group O, sorry, for blood group A, then this is what we mean. The same applies to B. Okay? So this is, if you have BO, then still you are blood group B, but heterozygous. Okay? Heterozygous. But if you have BB, IB, then you are still blood group B, but homozygous for blood group B. Okay? That's brilliant. Now, if you have A and A, okay, then you are blood group AB. That one is. So here you have allele A and allele B. They have met all of them, and the blood group that will be formed is both AB. You have antigens for both A and B. But whereas O and O meet, then you form blood group O. Okay? And this one doesn't have either homozygous or heterozygous. For it to be blood group O, then you must be in homozygous state. Period. Any question as far as this step is concerned? Before I give you work, before I give you a cross, please ask those questions. Otherwise, if you don't ask, I'm going to ask you. Please, Faith, which people are around? Faith, Aaron's, Gabriela, please ask. Infinix Hot 10, Infinix Hot 10, please ask. Can you please re-explain? Are you sure? Joseph Chiyinja, I think. There is me. There is Mirembe Kevin. So please ask. Okay, my network was off. Okay. Okay. Let's go through it one more time. So for you, these are the possible blood groups, all these ones. And whether you can use these blood groups to tell if the kid is yours or if the kid is not yours. So these are the possible blood groups that can exist. Okay? So if you have allele A and allele A meets with allele O, then the blood group is going to be A. Okay? But now in this case, it is going to be A heterozygous. So if the question says, maybe Gabriela is blood group A, but heterozygous. She's heterozygous for, is Gabriela she or he? Okay, I think she. So Gabriela is heterozygous for blood group A. It means Gabriela is AO. So the question is, Gabriela is homozygous for blood group A, then it means the two alleles that determine her blood group are identical. So it is AA. Okay? or AA. So if you want, you can write this, it is okay. But also if you want, you can write this, it is also okay. Then if they say, which one? Who is this first person? It is Faith. First person on my list, it is Faith. So if they say Faith is heterozygous for blood group B, then this is blood group B. Okay? This is blood group B, but it means the two alleles that do determine this blood group, they are not the same, they are not identical. Okay? But for you to be blood group B, then you must have B and then another recessive allele. So automatically it becomes BO. But if they say, who else is the first on the list? Still Faith. Now Theta. So if they say Theta Christian Ronnie is homozygous for blood group B, then it means the two alleles that determine his blood group, I hope it's a his, it's a he. The two blood groups that determine, sorry, the two alleles that determine his blood group are identical. And for it to become blood group B, then you must have B. So he's going to be capital B. As simple as that. Then if you have AB, then you are blood group AB. And if you have O, then you are blood group O. Not so, Gabriela? Yes. Any queries before I give you work?
Master, this AB doesn't have a phenotype name.
Which one?
The AB.
AB, this AB, eh?
Yeah.
It remains AB. That is its phenotype.
Okay.
It remains blood group AB. Who is this?
Kathy.
Oh, it's Kathy. That's good. So, any questions before I give you a question? No questions? So you are ready for mine? Are you going to smash it? Okay. So before I give you my question, there's something important I should talk about. Now, we use these blood groups to determine the real parent of the kid, for instance. To determine if the mother, if the father is there. We can't determine the mother because she's the one that bears. Okay? But we determine if the father, the phenotype of AB, it's AB. And the genotype of AB, it is AB. Not so, Hanisha? Yes. AB remains AB. So we use these blood groups to determine the real father of the kid. Or if you are the real father, or if you are not the real father. For example, assuming, who can I use here? I'm going to just sample. Yes, I'm going to use Katende Eri and Mirembe Kevin. I've just sampled and it was a random sampling. Okay. So I'm assuming if Kevin, okay, claims, or assuming Kevin is claiming that the kid is for Katende, okay? We are just assuming, eh? Don't take it serious. Kevin has conceived, and Kevin, is it okay to use you? Remember Kevin? Who is okay with it?
I don't care.
For Katende, I know you don't care. But a girl, who is okay?
Sure, it's fine.
Good. I'm permitted now. I won't be taken to court. Good enough, I'm even recording. So, assuming Kevin is pregnant and Kevin is claiming that it's Katende who is responsible for the pregnancy. And then Katende is really saying, me, I don't know you. Let me repeat. We are assuming Kevin is pregnant and Kevin is claiming that it's Katende who is responsible for it. And Katende is like, me, I don't even know you. Who are you even? Who are you? Babe, who are you? I don't know you. And yet Kevin is really asserting that he's the one responsible for it. So what do? We go for genetics. And the first thing that we do is we first go for blood groups. Okay? We leave Kevin to give birth. And then after giving birth, we go for blood group of Kevin. And maybe Kevin is homozygous. Okay? For blood group A. And this one is AA. And then we get the blood group of Katende. And maybe Katende is heterozygous for blood group B. Okay? And then the two are giving birth to a son of blood group B. Really? Is this enough evidence? Can you carry out a cross to pin Kevin, that to pin Katende? Oh, you have Kevin is homozygous for blood group A, and you have established that. Whereas Katende, sorry, is heterozygous for blood group B, but the two are producing a kid of blood group B. Really? Can we sue Katende? Can we? Because can you really sue Katende? Let's carry out a cross and see if we can get blood group B from these two. So if you have A, this is Kevin, okay? This is Kevin. This is Kevin, and we are crossing Kevin with Katende. And Kevin is blood group B, sorry, A, and Katende is homozygous for blood group B. So gametes as usual, then we form A here, okay? And we form another A here. And then we form B here. Okay, it's just a simple cross, and then we form O here. So now I'm going to see if this couple can be able to produce a son of blood group B. So this one is going to be AB. This one is going to be blood group O. So the AO, the same applies AB. Okay, AB. And then the same applies. This is AO. Now there is nowhere this couple cannot produce. This couple cannot produce a kid with blood group B. Are you seeing? This is AB, this is A, this is AB. Let me write them down. This is A, this is AB, okay? And this one is A. This couple cannot produce a son of blood group B. But now this kid, this Kevin's baby, is of blood group B. So it means the claim is wrong. The Katende is not the one responsible for the baby. That's the conclusion that you make. Okay? So you tell Kevin to go and look for the dad of the baby and leave Katende alone. That if Katende was maybe arrested, then After this cross, you release Katende and moves out while smiling. Okay? While smiling. Because he's not responsible for this kid, for this baby. But when you produce, maybe you find somewhere you have AB, still, sorry, somewhere you have B, okay, in the possible phenotypes, this is a clue. It is not enough evidence to pin somebody also. Because I'm not the one that can give birth to a kid, blood group B alone. There are other people who can produce kids with blood group B. So this is not enough evidence, but it gives you a clue. Then after carrying out the blood group test, then you go for DNA test. Now this one is a must. It will give you results. But you can't go for DNA test before carrying out blood groups. Now imagine if it's contained. The blood group is diffusing it out and you waste money for DNA. Here you use something like 500, when here you can use just 20K to determine blood groups and you carry out crosses and you're done with it. So that's basically how this is applicable in solving real life problems. Not so? Yes. Let me give you some little work. Somebody is posting, I'm understanding, sir. So what are you trying to mean? Yes, Kathy? Okay, so let's proceed. And I guess it's a question. I guess it's a question. Yes. You are the one to do this. Can you do that, chap chap? And let me give you 5 minutes. 5 minutes are enough to do this. Hurry up, guys. And I want to see your crosses because it's what I'm interested in, not just answers. But you can drop answers and then I'll sample 3 people and I have a glimpse at your crosses. I hope you guys are doing work. Chigongo Hanisha B. Teacher, is the man A heterozygous or homozygous? Okay. The possible blood groups of offspring produce a man of blood group A marries a woman of blood group AB. Okay, you can, there are two possible crosses you can carry out. It's okay. You can do two. The Briera ratio is 2 to 2. Okay. Hurry up, I want to see your crosses. I want to have a look at your crosses. Please hurry up. Mm-hmm. 2AB, 1B, okay. 2AA, 1, okay, this is good. Today you are responding. Okay, who is willing to show me what they have done? Who is winning? Okay, I'm there. You can show me what you've done. Yes, Gabriela, yeah. Let me pin Gabriela, she's here. Yes, Gabriela, you can show us. Gabriela? Yes, just hold in one position. Just hold the phone in one position and don't move, eh? Yes, on the left-hand side, let me have a look at what you've done. Gab, you move the phone a bit up, eh? And then towards the left-hand side, I want to see the whole cross, eh? Yes, that's good. So this is man, and this is woman, and the man is blood group A, marries, this is good. Then, yes, this is good. This is good. So for you, I've used the man is homozygous for blood group A. Yeah, that's really good. But the words this side, parent, then parental genotype, then cross, you must write those words. Okay? Yes, you must write those words. That's good. Another one. Who should I pin? Mirembe Kevin. Where is she? You can show us. Yes. Just hold the phone in one position. Yes. Yeah, again, you've changed it. No, you leave the orientation that it was. Leave the initial orientation. That one. Yeah. Then move the that's okay. Male with blood group A marries female. That's good. Parental genotype. Yeah. This is what I want. Okay. This is good. Parental genotype. AB. Meiosis. The spelling for meiosis. Then gametes. Yes, this is good. And then fertilization of springs. Yeah, this is real good. Apart from the spelling, the rest are okay. Then one more person. Who should that be? One more person. Hey, members. You, hurry up. Okay? Yes, Collins. You can show us. Yes, I can see. Yes. The bandwidth, this is parental phenotype. I can see blood group A, and then this side, I can see the woman. I want to see the woman. Then parental genotype, I'm seeing A, then meiosis, produce gametes, fertilization. You move the phone to the right. To the right. Yes. I'm seeing A, B, and then move the phone a bit down. Let the book move up. That's enough. Then you form gametes. Yes, for gametes. Let me see gametes for the lady, for the woman. Move the phone to the right. Yes, you form, yeah, that's good. And then fertilization, cross. Yeah, you guys, you are now improving as far as your crosses are concerned. Then here you form AA, you form AB, you form AB. Yeah, that's really good. That's good. Anybody else who wants to show something? Anybody? Nobody? I proceed. It's okay. It's okay. So let's proceed. So basically, that's how simple that cross works. So now here we don't define symbols. We don't say let this be represent this. No, these letters are known, they are standard. Okay, so they are known. However, they were supposed to be two crosses, whereby for you to be A, then you are either A homozygous or A heterozygous. That's why the man can have two possible genotypes, A heterozygous and A homozygous, because allele A is dominant over allele O. So, yes. And so I was expecting something like two crosses, whereby one, you consider for AA, capital A, and you carry out a cross, and most of you did this, okay? And you must maintain crosses X all over, okay? And the crosses must be neat. So most of you did this, which was good, okay? And there is a second one. And if you do this, offsprings will have two, blood group A, two will have blood group A, and two will have blood group A. And yeah, you guys, all of you did this. For those who have seen, then you can also be A, but in heterozygous state. Okay? And when it is in heterozygous state, then you have this. Okay? You have two having blood group A, one having blood group AB, and one as having blood group B. Now, why have I given you this? Why am I considering these two? It depends on the question that is given. I'll give you a question and be like, a man of blood group A, a woman of blood group AB is claiming that this man, okay, maybe is responsible for the baby. And then I say a man is of blood group A and a baby is of blood group B. Carry out a genetic cross to settle this. And then you carry out, here you have to carry out two crosses. Because I've not told you if the man is homozygous or if the man is heterozygous. I've not told you that. Okay? So since I've not told you, then you have to carry out a cross. Okay? To show that this man is either responsible or the man is not responsible. And then after that, I'll ask you, is this cross enough evidence to pin the man that he's responsible for this? And your answer must be no. Here it just gives you a clue. Because now, there are many blood groups. And by the way, this man could not be the only one with blood group A. This woman can sleep with another man of blood group A. And they produce the same kid. And so for you, when you carry out a cross, you pin this man up when he's not the one. When actually, some other male with the same blood group slept with a woman. So then which other advice do you give as a genetic counselor? Then you tell this family to go for further DNA testing. And you have settled it down. You are now a pro. You get money and you buy your favorite car if you want, or you do whatever you feel like do. Not so? Yes. So applications of genetics, you can use genetics to determine inbreeding of animals. You've been carrying out genetics when you are not aware. For example, if somebody in the village, in the village hood, has some good he got, all of you people go to his higwa. If somebody has a good bull, all of you people go for that bull. If somebody has a cow that can produce 5 liters of milk, all of you people yearn either get a calf, either get a copy of that cow. Why? You are carrying out genetics. Okay? You are carrying out genetics. Though now you didn't know that that's actually genetics. Not so? Yes. We use it to eliminate or reduce harmful characteristics. For example, if a kabut is bad, maybe the kabut is tiny, the kabut is just looking funny in a funny way, nobody takes his cow there. Nobody. Why? You all neglect it. And so it means that couple won't be able to pass out its genes to the next generation. And as a result, boom, it dies with its genes. So it is eliminated. So those harmful genes are eliminated from the population. So that's how good genetics is. And you've been carrying out genetics when you don't know. Genetic counseling. Okay, we have just discussed this. Kevin is claiming that Katende is the father of the kid. And Katende is claiming that he's not the one. He doesn't even know Kevin. So what do? You go for genetics. Okay? You carry out different crosses, blood groups, for instance. They are the ones which are easily determined. And if the blood groups are not pinning Katende, then there is no need of continuing to DNA. Okay? So that's how good genetics is. And by the you people, you've been carrying out this also unknowing the genetic counseling. For example, you give birth to your kid, but before anything else, you first take the kid to grannies. I mean, in that old generation, you give birth to a kid, you first take the kid to grannies, to the elders of the clan, the Mwendas. And the elders, they look at the ears, look at the feet, eyes, mouth, face, fingernails, thumbprints. They look at very many things. And then they be like, yeah, this kid is ours. This kid is ours. This kid is ours. Or they be like, and you hear them be like, just rumors. Why? They are carrying out genetics. They are carrying out genetics. However, unknowing, they didn't know that they were carrying out genetics. But that's genetics. Whereby they look at the dad and they look at the mom and see the kid. If the kid doesn't have any trait from the family, and then however, that was indigenous. That was indigenous knowledge. Okay? Whereby you cannot base on that to conclude that this kid is not mine, this kid is mine. So right now we have modern methods whereby you go for blood groups, but specifically you go for DNA test. Now DNA cannot lie because I told you in the beginning that you are half your parent and half you are half your mom and half your dad. So you have your daddy's DNA. So if you go for DNA test and the two DNAs are not matching at all, then it means you are not your father's kid. Do you hear how funny that statement is? Yes, you are not your father's kid because the DNAs are not matching. and boom, then you ask for your new dad. So their DNA, it cannot lie. It cannot lie. Then prediction of offsprings from two mating individuals and solve problems like fraternity. Same thing. Teacher, what is fraternal uncertainty? That's what I've been talking about. Fraternal means that uncertainty, not clear. So cases where somebody is not clear of who is the dad of the child, then you go for DNA test. Okay? Yes. That's brilliant work. That's brilliant. So we have finished genetics, and I hope you guys are able to do enough questions. You remember the other previous test we had? We had one good question. Maybe you can do it. Let me take you there so that you can do it and get to know these basic concepts, okay? Yeah, guys, here is the question. Yeah, here is the question. Can you give it a shot? Chap. You do that question, and I'll give you roughly 7 minutes to do this question. Let's hurry up, guys. Yeah, thanks for the work done. Let's do correction, and then we call it a day. That's brilliant one. So here the question says, you people, the question says a man of blood group A. This is man. Maybe let me use examples here. Which men are here? Which man should I use? Father A. Oh, yeah, this is good. Bonnie Mary, that's good. That's good. Which man should I use here? And which woman should I use? I want volunteers. Maybe you get to understand it better. I use Aaron. And then which woman? Which woman should I use here? Okay. Yeah, I use the Mirembe now. This is Kat. So let me use Kat. Thank you for that. For being good volunteers. Now, this is Aaron. Okay? This is Aaron. Is it capital? Yeah, it is Aaron. And Aaron marries Kathy. This is Kathy. Not so? This is Kathy. Now, Aaron is of blood group A, but we have seen that A can be a homozygous or a heterozygous. You people. But A marries Aaron marries Kathy, and Kathy is homozygous for blood group B. So this is Kathy. This is typically homozygous. Now, this is Aaron. Aaron is, they have just told us that Aaron is blood group A. They have not told us if Aaron is homozygous for A or heterozygous for A. So it means Aaron can be this or can be this. So, but when the two are crossed, then they produce a son of blood group B. Now, if we cross this, okay, Aaron, our son should be blood group B. And they have not told us which B. Is it B homozygous, capital B, or it is B heterozygous, capital B, small, capital B, O. Also, when we cross this, then we should get a son of blood group B. And either capital B, or capital B, small o. Now, of these two, even you don't need to carry out across. If it's an objective question, you don't need to carry out across. You just do simply what I've done. So of these two, which one can give rise to B? To blood group B. Somebody has posted. Good, Aaron. Obviously, somebody is saying obviously AO. It is this O that can fuse with NAB and you form BO. But here you form O. That's why I got some of you, you gave me answers or AB, and you were right. But the question is specific. The son is of blood group B. So automatically, therefore, Aaron must be AO. Since Kathy is B. But if Aaron was capital A, and the son was blood group B, then this son wouldn't be Aaron's son. There, Aaron would be right to defeat this son. Aaron would be right to send away this son. The son is not his. If Aaron was, so for all of you who did capital A, then the son wasn't Aaron's son. Okay? But for those of you who did capital A, small o, then the son was Aaron. So you carry after now, what would be the genotype of the son? This is obvious. The son can't be capital B. No, the son cannot. Because this side you have no B to meet with another B so that you have capital B. But you have there this O. And since the genotype of Aaron is AO, then it means the son is also BO. And in the preceding question, they have told you that the son of BO. So you're going to do a cross. I'm just dissecting, just demystifying the question. So in the preceding question, they have told us that this son here of blood group B marries. Maybe this one is here. Let me dictate who should I use. Maybe this is Navasa Collins and Pony Mary. So here the son is Navasa Collins. So if you take me to court, Pony Mary is saying no. Okay, so she might take me to court. Let me use another person. Let me use Joe. Let me use Charlotte. Okay, so maybe this is the son Navasa Collins. Okay, and the son is marrying wife Charity, Joe and Charity. And Navasa Collins, we have this is son Navasa Collins. And we have discovered that the son, Navasa Collins, is of blood group BO. You have clearly seen that. And they have told us in the question that the wife Charity, okay, is of blood group O, and O can be capital O, capital O. So they want what to be the percentages. So I want to carry out across. So here you form B, O, whereby this B can fuse with this, or B can fuse with this. Or you may form O, whereby O can fuse with this O, and this O can fuse with this O. So that the ratio is 1 to 1. And so what will be the percentage? It is 1 out of 2 times 100, which is it? You have 50%. 50% blood group O and 50%. Okay, we want phenotype blood group B. So it is as simple as that. Really? Why should you fail such a simple question? Why? Tell me why. So do you see that you deserve sticks? Yeah, 50-50. Yeah, that's good faith. So do you see that you deserve sticks? Do you deserve sticks? You don't, eh? Okay, so we are going to end from here. Now in our next lesson, we shall talk about mutations. Hey, this is the, yeah, in our next lesson, this is what we shall talk about. And you can do some further reading. You can do some reading, okay? And get to know what mutations are. I sent you notes good enough so that, yeah, it becomes part of you. And like I told you, I'm going to send you work as far as genetics is concerned. And you do that work, okay? Please do, please do. Otherwise, have a nice time, guys.